Hello, friends. How are you today? I am so happy to be back here with you to talk about energy, the Schumann resonance, and how these energies affect us personally, what we can do to take greater control over our lives, to learn how the energies may affect us and what we can do about that. So, something amazing happened today on New Year's Day, January 1st. In terms of the natural New Year, it's actually the start of the fourth quarter of the new year, so the back end of the new natural year. But on the calendar year, today is the first day. And what's happened is that, check this out. There's been an incredible clearing of much of the chart. You can see the crisscrossing technological effect energies have moved, very much into the background. All of the activity that was going on here at 20 hertz and even higher. You see it here in the background, but it's not as prominent. It's like there's a backing off of it. And it's like the energies since about December 17th, so it's been about 2 weeks, there's been an intensity creating this pressure, and today the pressure releases, and it just happens to also be January 1st. It started yesterday with this really interesting shape on the 31st on the charts. And what you see here that's dominant is a ton of green. And this white image that, to me, it reminds me of the calipers. I call it the calipers that I've seen on the chart before, an image of calipers, a measuring device or measuring stick. Not a stick. Measuring technology. And, that you adjust it to determine a measurement of something. And so here, it looks like with our awareness, we're measuring this, whatever this is, and the lines do extend into the 20 hertz and lower level. But let's see how many hertz this is at. This is at, let's see, dun, dun, dun. Yeah, so it's probably 12, 13, 14, 15, maybe about 13 hertz here. So we're at the top of the alpha range, the bottom of the beta range. Looks like we're measuring our observations where we're at, right? Because those are the observational brain waves of humanity, that hertz level. Before we really start to get into complex and critical thinking, it's interesting because you can assess these things without your mind, can't you? And I know that is what I found myself doing last night and yesterday before the clock turned to January 1st. For me, it was a big look at the shadow. And so for me, this is really appropriate. The awareness comes, you bring the light of awareness intentionally to where you are unconscious. You bring that into the subconscious, right, so that you can look at it. This is a level, in my view, that we can engage with when we bring certain states of being to our own selves. We're able to touch those things that were previously unconscious, brought to the surface, and then bring them out for observation to make decisions about what we're going to do and so on. I do want to look at this here. I mean, there has been quite a lot of cross-hatching in the chart. It's been a little bit, I don't know. I just look at it with sort of my head kind of cocked and thinking, what is that? See here, down here, this technological looking effect has been so dominant in this 20 hertz area. And it's extended into the low hertz as well, and a little bit up into the higher hertz. It's interesting because the qualities, we still have the red resonance just staying pretty firmly at this high quality level. I've talked about this quite a bit over the last few weeks. Its frequency range is still in the high 19s in a narrow range. So that's also very interesting. The range is so narrow now that the chart, only shows us this much. Like here, see, between 9.75 and 19.75 and 19.95. That's only a 0.2 or less hertz range. And I mean, if I extend it to here, 0.71, 0.92, yeah, that's 0.21. So we had been talking about the hertz range for the red frequency being in a 0.3 to 4 range, and that has narrowed even further. So I'm not sure what that means, but it feels like the pressure is on. And like if I draw this down to where the majority of the hertz is, I mean, you could even say that the majority, see if I look at that, the majority is in 0.79 to 0.8, 0.1. That's less than a 0.1 range. Because it's almost 0.8 to 0.09 hertz range. Yeah, it's really tight, really tightened up. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen with the red hertz, especially as we go into January and February. There's some interesting events coming up astrologically. For example, right now we're in Venus retrograde, Venus crossing back over and back and forth over Pluto. The other really interesting thing that's going to be happening is that on February 2nd of 2022, so in about a month, the planet Pluto will return to the place that it was when the United States had its revolution, July 4th, 1776. It will return to 27 degrees on February 2nd, and on February 22nd, it will be exact at 27 degrees and 33 minutes of Capricorn. Pluto will be at that exact position, exactly where the country's Pluto was when our country was born on July 4th. 1776. So I don't know what that's going to mean for this country, but it's very, very, very interesting. And Pluto comes with a lot of intensity. It's at the end of Capricorn. So Capricorn is about, governmental structures and society. Our place in society comes next, right, with Aquarius, but on a personal level, we've all been having a lot of interaction with these government structures because it's just been really in our face the last 2 years, purposefully. And so as we're in these last few degrees here, and as we get to the Pluto return of the United States, I just wonder what's going to happen. I think it will be interesting because of the constriction in the red resonance. It makes me wonder, is tension building? Have we purposely held ourselves back? And now what are we going to decide to do? Is our passion going to, return? Because I feel like it's also constricted our passionate emotions. And when Venus moves forward again, and she'll be moving forward marching towards Pluto with Mars, actually. At the same degree, they're going to conjunct on several different days at different degrees of Capricorn, moving towards Pluto. So Mars will be moving towards Pluto with Venus, and that'll be very interesting. I've been doing some videos recently about the astrology and how it relates with the Schumann chart. And I never had thought about doing astrology before. I respect astrology, but I was never really into it. And a friend of mine spent the last 2 years tutoring me. I was very, very fortunate about that. Her name's Andrea, and I will link her website below. She has some really interesting articles on there, but she also does sessions with people. And especially if you are interested in shadow work or prophetic information, she's very good with that personally, or even tarot cards or whatever it is. So anyway, as I began learning about this, I started to see the trends, that there were similarities. And in my beginner's playlist, I've explained that why I feel that planetary movements may have effects, and periodically I point those out on the chart. We're coming into the new moon, which will be January 2nd. So we'll look for that on the chart again tomorrow. But I do plan to do more of that. It has really surprised me, my passion that comes up in astrology for these things. And how much it relates to the Schumann. So, at any rate, I just wanted to share that with you. I think because I was just talking about passion and the red resonance quality and how important it is for us to make the effort to uncover that passion in our lives. Because it's that passion in our lives that helps to drive us forward. We have our human emotions, the anger, the fear, the love, and all the variations of these things. But once we have cleared ourselves from, stacked up anger, or stacked up fear, or from other lifetimes, or this lifetime, or whatever, and we process that, and we look in our shadow, and we attempt to integrate these things, when you get these emotional feelings, there's much more clarity with it, especially when you connect with the divine as you do that. The emotions can be then a guide for us. It surprised me to no end. The passion, first of all, I'm already very passionate about the Schumann. But to add the passion about the astrology, it's incredible. I dream about it at night now. I see the charts moving around, and it's just incredible. But then it gives me a direction to go. It's like the inner divine leads us when we're willing to respond, and when we're willing to bring it into the physical world to manifest. And that's why when I first made the astrology video, the first one that I made when I was consulting with my spiritual guides, I was told, just get the video done, just get it out. And I just went on blind faith. I didn't know why I was doing it, and didn't kind of intellectually make any sense to me. But the more that I have, the more that I see the connection between the Schumann and the astrology trends. Now, let's talk about this for a second. People like to have their astrology charts read. Why? Because they feel that the energies do affect them. Now, if people are also involved in generating these charts, right? Because the Hertz range here is the same Hertz range as human brain waves. So if this is a map of human consciousness, and if we believe that this astrology charts that the energies of the planets from the time we were born affect us, affect the makeup of who we are. And then as we live our life, that the positions of the planets could have various influences on us, then it would make perfect sense that these two charts, the astrology for the day and the Schumann resonance, are intimately connected. Thanks for being here today, you guys. I've missed you, and I've been doing a lot of personal work. And I just deeply appreciate you being here today. Happy New Year. The human resonance. It's all about the vibe.